Hello. We want to send a shout out to everyone that has donated on Patreon, on PayPal, on mail-in donations even. So from me, Michael RN, and the rest of the cast and crew, a huge thank you to Michael Ali, Jean-Claude Nunien, Peter Byrne, Blondine Bouvet, Ken Steffen, Thomas Canty, Adam Waring. Thank you, thank you. This means the world to us. Bless you.
The first one is from Ken Steffen. Stephen. Stefan. I hope one of those is right. You have different ways of preparing for filming lighter comical scenes versus heavier dramatic scenes, and which is more challenging? I'd say in general I approach every scene the same. I mean, once I've gotten onto set, I've done all my character work. My main focus is just trying to sink into the truth of the moment for my character, and in particular the moment right before the scene starts. I have to say comedy's harder every time. Comedy is it's the timing. It's so specific, and for a joke to land, the timing just has to be right. Dramatic scenes and other scenes, I think there's a little more leeway, honestly, and a little more to latch on to.
I do prepare differently. Lighter scene always seems more natural, and a more dramatic scene could possibly have more recall to it, and that in itself always makes it more challenging and more difficult for me.
I really like to separate myself from the cast and crew before we film it, so I can really walk myself into the right headspace emotionally and kind of prepare myself for where I need to get in the next scene. It's a lot harder for me to do that from just a neutral ground. Whereas the comical ones, most of the time I prefer to kind of really amp myself up physically and just kind of get into like a really playful stance, and keep my body moving, keep my blood pumping, so I'm not just like going in cold overall. But some days I can also totally just be like blabbing right before the slap board goes about nothing related to what we're about to do and then just jump right in. So every day is kind of a wish-wash, really.
Next question is from JC. You auditioned for Michael's role. How did you react when you found out that you were playing Justin? I'm more of a Justin than a Michael. I hadn't read the script at the time of the casting, so I was going out for Michael, just based on the character descriptions. But Michelle offered me the role, she sent me the script, and before I accepted it, I read through the whole script. And I gotta say, right around Act 3, when Justin's in the hospital, I was thinking I was gonna say no. Because my first thought was, great, here's another movie with a gay character who has to die at the end before he finds love and acceptance, and I am so sick of that narrative. I don't want to be part of it. But I kept reading, and Justin recovers, and I remember tearing up a little bit thinking how great it was that Michelle just wanted to tell a happy love story. So I wrote back as soon as I finished the script saying, yes, of course, I would love to play Justin. My first question was, who is my Michael? You know, I was thinking back to the auditions and who they paired us up with for scenes and for test shots, and I'm not going to lie, I was really hoping she was going to say Bjorn.
You played Michael's role naturally and genuinely. Thank you. Was that the first time you were playing a gay character in a movie, and how was the experience? It is not the first time I've played a gay character. I also started out on stage. I've played many characters and that they just happen to be gay. I've also dressed in drag. Being gay has less to do with Michael's character than his actual demeanor and his attitude towards Justin. The filming experience was absolutely lovely.
There a particularly difficult or challenging scene?
Confronting Justin's parents. Very intense, heavy. Defending gay rights to a narrow-minded, ignorant dad. And I guess that's the scene that's It was well written, but that was a difficult scene.
The scene where Justin is being rejected by his father was really difficult. I know what that feels like, to be rejected for who you are, or to have part of your identity rejected. I identify as queer pansexual, and growing up, that opened me up to a lot of ridicule and exclusion. Being reminded that part of who I was in my core was not acceptable to other people. I was ultimately accepted by my parents for who I am, but playing a character who's not brought up a lot of feelings and a lot of hard memories about friends that I've lost, other family members that I would be closer with, now if they could accept me. And my heart just goes out to anybody who's in Justin's position. I'm so sorry that you have to deal with that. Just know that you are loved for who you are, just the way you are. And I hope you found some people that can, share that love with you. Aside from that blasting scene at iFly, what was your favorite scene during filming? God, that iFly scene was really fun. I actually got to get in there with Bjorn at one point, but it never made the final cut. I guess it wouldn't be in character for Justin, or maybe I just don't look very good on camera with all that wind flying at my face. I don't know. Second favorite? I don't know. That Porsche was pretty fun to drive. It's definitely the nicest car I've ever driven at 5 to 10 miles per hour around a parking lot.
The first time Michael meets Justin, I just love that banter, that dialogue that they go back and forth. Yeah, I could keep reading that scene over and over.
We could hear shouting in the background during the fight scene in the parking lot. How did you handle that challenge? Yeah, that was interesting. We were filming in the actual parking lot outside of the bar and restaurant location. I remember being pretty distracted by it. Ultimately, I just had to block it out and ignore them, which, as an actor, that's what we're doing all the time on set anyway. We're surrounded by people with film equipment, lights and sound and boom, and there's a microphone under our shirt, and there's like a light in our eyes, and the camera is like 2 inches away during a close-up, and you're just trying to pretend like all that doesn't exist so you can, be in the moment with your character. So I just added those drunk people down the street to my list of things that I was ignoring for the day.
But luckily, like you said, it was a fight scene, argument, so it did fuel the fire, and it just made for a really long night instead of just getting it done right away.
Was the knee in the noodles a real accident? That was in the script. I think that was in the original script. Yeah, I'm glad it looked so natural. I think we have more than a couple of takes of my knee going into those noodles. What are your hobbies during your spare time when not acting? I'm not acting all the time. Or am I? No. Or am I? No, I'm just kidding. Or am I?
I enjoy being outside. Anything from camping or hiking, golfing, gardening even. It's springtime here, so I've got my plants in and I'm working on them.
Yeah, I have hobbies. I juggle. I like to read books. I go hiking, camping, walk the dog, snuggle with the dog. Reading a book right now about who really wrote all of those Shakespeare plays. Spoiler alert, it was the Earl of Oxford. Was I really feeling sick on the ride? Yeah. Oh yeah, Justin's favorite ride. My nightmare. I thought I was going to puke my guts out. I used to do it all the time when I was a kid, but I am not that person anymore.
You've both shared having spent long hours while performing your roles. How were you feeling once the film wrapped? I was feeling worn down, but accomplished. We were filming like every day in August, which is like the hottest time here, and putting long hours in, but knew the quality that we were doing. I suppose that's what kept us going. That Michelle, she keeps going on and on. No one can stop her.
All the feelings. I'm not gonna lie, it was a pretty tight schedule, and I didn't have a lot of days off. But after a day or two, I missed it. I just wanted to be back at it. I couldn't wait to get back up at 3 or 4 in the morning and be on set for 10 or 12 or 14 or 15 hours, and it's my favorite job ever. I want to do it all the time.